What if I told you that right now, at this very moment, there's a silent army working inside your body, 8 molecular warriors engaged in over 100 different chemical reactions every single second? These aren't science fiction nanobots. They're real, they're essential, and most people are walking around with depleted ranks. I'm talking about the B vitamins, and by the end of this presentation, you're going to understand why this complex might be the most underestimated factor in your energy, mental clarity, and long-term health. So here's what I need from you right now. Forget everything you think you know about vitamins. Forget the boring nutrition labels and the dusty supplement bottles in your cabinet. For the next 15 minutes, I want you to see these molecules as what they really are. The difference between merely surviving and actually thriving. Stay with me, because what you're about to discover could fundamentally change how you think about your own body. Let's travel back to 1897, when a Dutch physician named Christian Eichmann was stationed in Java, completely baffled by a mysterious disease ravaging the local population. People were experiencing devastating nerve damage, heart problems, and paralysis, a condition called beriberi. Here's where it gets fascinating. Eichmann noticed that chickens in the hospital yard were developing similar symptoms, but only the chickens eating polished white rice. The ones eating brown rice with the hull intact? Perfectly healthy. This observation would eventually lead to the discovery of thiamine, or B1, the first member of what we now call the B complex. But here's the twist that makes this story remarkable. Eichmann initially thought beriberi was caused by a toxin in white rice, not the absence of something essential. It took decades for science to realize that diseases could be caused not by what's present, but by what's missing. This paradigm shift changed medicine forever and revealed something profound about human nutrition. We are not self-sufficient machines. We are dependent on these external molecular allies for our very survival. The B complex isn't just one vitamin. It's a family of 8 distinct compounds, each with its own superpower, yet all working in synchronized harmony. Think of them as an elite special forces unit, where every member has a specialized skill set. B1 thiamine is your energy converter, transforming carbohydrates into usable fuel. B2 riboflavin is the cellular protector, defending against oxidative stress and keeping your eyes and skin healthy. B3 niacin is the DNA repairer and cholesterol regulator. This one is so powerful it can cause a temporary, harmless flush reaction that makes your skin tingle and turn red. A phenomenon that freaks people out, but is actually your blood vessels expanding. B5 pantothenic acid is the stress hormone producer, literally helping you manufacture cortisol when you need it. B6 pyridoxine is the mood master, essential for creating serotonin and dopamine, your brain's happiness chemicals. B7 biotin is the beauty vitamin, responsible for healthy hair, skin, and nails. B9 folate is the cell division director, absolutely critical during pregnancy for preventing birth defects. And B12, cobalamin, is perhaps the most fascinating of all. A cobalt-containing molecule that only bacteria can produce, which means every molecule of B12 in your body ultimately came from microbial synthesis. Without B12, your nerve cells would literally lose their protective coating and short circuit. These 8 compounds work together so intimately that a deficiency in one often compromises the function of others, which is why they're grouped as a complex rather than treated individually. Here's something that will blow your mind. Every single calorie you consume, whether it's from an apple, a steak, or a slice of pizza, is completely useless without B vitamins. You could eat 3,000 calories a day, but if you're deficient in B vitamins, your cells would starve. Why? Because B vitamins are the cofactors that unlock energy from food. They're like the key that starts your cellular engine. Specifically, B vitamins are crucial for something called the Krebs cycle, a series of chemical reactions happening in your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, that convert nutrients into ATP, the actual currency of cellular energy. Without adequate B1, B2, B3, and B5, this cycle sputters and stalls. The result? You experience that crushing fatigue that no amount of coffee can fix. that brain fog where simple decisions feel impossible, that heaviness in your limbs that makes climbing stairs feel like scaling a mountain. This isn't laziness or lack of willpower. It's biochemistry. Your body is literally running on empty despite having a full tank. And here's the kicker. Modern life depletes B vitamins at an alarming rate. Stress, alcohol, processed foods, certain medications, chronic illness, intense exercise, all of these drain your B vitamin reserves faster than you can replenish them through diet alone. Now, I want you to pause for a moment and think about your own energy levels. Are you one of those people who needs 3 cups of coffee just to feel human? Do you hit that afternoon wall where your brain turns to mush? Have you noticed your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be? These could be signals your body is sending you about B vitamin status. And here's what I want you to do. Don't just accept fatigue as a normal part of modern life. Don't resign yourself to perpetual exhaustion. After we finish here, I want you to seriously evaluate your B vitamin intake and consider whether you might be running on depleted reserves. Because the difference between optimal and deficient isn't subtle. It's the difference between living in black and white versus full color. Let's talk about what might be the most crucial aspect of the B complex: its profound impact on your brain and mental health. Your brain is an energy-hungry organ, consuming about 20% of your body's total energy despite representing only 2% of your body weight. It's also a chemical factory, constantly producing neurotransmitters, the molecules that carry signals between neurons and determine your mood, focus, and perception of reality. And guess what orchestrates this entire operation? B vitamins. B6, B9, and B12 in particular form what researchers call the methylation trio, involved in producing serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, and GABA. These are the chemicals that make you feel happy, motivated, calm, and focused. Studies have shown that people with depression often have lower levels of folate and B12. In fact, some research suggests that B vitamins might enhance the effectiveness of antidepressant medications. But it goes even deeper than mood. B12 deficiency can cause neurological symptoms that are virtually indistinguishable from dementia: memory loss, confusion, difficulty walking, personality changes. Older adults are frequently misdiagnosed with cognitive decline when they're actually suffering from a correctable B12 deficiency. The tragedy is that this vitamin deficiency can cause permanent nerve damage if left untreated long enough. Your brain physically deteriorates without adequate B12. The protective myelin sheath around your nerves breaks down, like electrical wires losing their insulation. This is why B12 deficiency was once called pernicious anemia. Pernicious meaning deadly, because before supplementation was available, it was exactly that. Here's an uncomfortable truth. B vitamin deficiency is not some rare condition affecting unfortunate people in developing countries. It's happening right now in developed nations, to people who think they're eating well. Let's look at some surprising statistics. Up to 15% of Americans are deficient in B12, and that number skyrockets to nearly 40% in people over 60. Why? Because as we age, our stomach produces less intrinsic factor, a protein necessary to absorb B12. Vegetarians and vegans are at extremely high risk because B12 is found almost exclusively in animal products. People taking metformin for diabetes or proton pump inhibitors for acid reflux are systematically depleting their B12 with every dose. Folate deficiency is common in women of childbearing age, which is terrifying because folate is critical in the first weeks of pregnancy, often before a woman even knows she's pregnant. This is why many countries now fortify grain products with folic acid. But fortification only addresses one member of the B complex family. What about the others? Alcoholics are notoriously deficient in thiamine. An acute thiamine deficiency can cause Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, a devastating neurological condition causing confusion, vision problems, and permanent memory damage. Even social drinkers may be chronically low in B vitamins because alcohol interferes with their absorption and accelerates their excretion. Athletes and highly active people burn through B vitamins rapidly. People under chronic stress deplete their B5 reserves. Those eating highly processed diets miss out because B vitamins are concentrated in whole foods and are often destroyed during food processing. So where do you actually get these vital nutrients? The good news is that B vitamins are widely distributed across many food categories, but you have to eat the right foods in the right forms. Animal products are B vitamin powerhouses. Eggs contain virtually all B vitamins, with the yolk being especially rich in B12, biotin, and folate. Organ meats like liver are absurdly nutrient-dense, containing massive amounts of B12, folate, and B2, though I recognize liver is an acquired taste that many people avoid. Fish, particularly salmon, trout, and tuna, are excellent sources. Poultry and red meat provide B3, B6, and B12. For plant-based sources, you're looking at whole grains, which contain B1, B2, B3, and B6 in the bran and germ. This is why refining grains removes most of their B vitamin content. Legumes like lentils, chickpeas, and black beans are rich in folate and B1. Dark leafy greens provide folate, B2, and B6. Nuts and seeds offer various B vitamins, with sunflower seeds being particularly high in B5. Nutritional yeast is a secret weapon for vegans because it's often fortified with B12. But here's the complication. Just eating these foods doesn't guarantee you're absorbing the nutrients. B12 absorption is incredibly complex, requiring adequate stomach acid, intrinsic factor, and proper pancreatic enzyme function. Folate is better absorbed from supplements than food in many people. B vitamins are water-soluble, meaning your body doesn't store large amounts. You need constant replenishment. They're also easily destroyed by heat, light, and processing. That spinach salad is far more nutritious raw than boiled for 20 minutes. This brings us to the supplement question, and this is where things get nuanced. Should you supplement with B-complex? The answer depends on your individual circumstances, but the potential benefits are substantial with minimal risk because excess B vitamins are generally excreted in urine rather than building up to toxic levels. However, not all B vitamin supplements are created equal. Some forms are far more bioavailable than others. For B12, methylcobalamin is generally better absorbed than cyanocobalamin. For folate, look for methylfolate or 5-MTHF rather than synthetic folic acid, especially if you have the MTHFR gene variant that affects folate metabolism, which affects roughly 40% of the population. B6 should be in the P5P form for optimal absorption. These activated forms cost more, but are worth it if you're actually deficient. Dosing matters too. The RDA for most B vitamins is set to prevent deficiency diseases, not to optimize function. Many functional medicine practitioners recommend doses far exceeding the RDA, particularly for people with high stress, metabolic issues, or neurological symptoms. That said, more isn't always better. Very high doses of B6 over long periods can actually cause nerve damage. A strange irony given that B6 deficiency also causes nerve problems. B3 in high doses can cause liver issues. The key is working with someone knowledgeable who can help you determine appropriate doses for your situation. And here's something most people don't know. B vitamins often work better together than in isolation, which is why B-complex formulations often outperform individual B vitamin supplements in studies. The B vitamin story is still being written, and some of the emerging research is genuinely exciting. Scientists are discovering that B vitamins may play roles far beyond what we previously understood. There's compelling research suggesting that adequate B vitamin status might slow brain aging and reduce dementia risk. One study found that high-dose B vitamin supplementation slowed brain atrophy in elderly patients with mild cognitive impairment by up to 90%. Researchers are investigating B vitamins' role in cardiovascular health, particularly how B6, B9, and B12 work together to control homocysteine, an amino acid that at elevated levels is associated with increased heart disease risk. There's fascinating work being done on B vitamins and genetic expression, how these nutrients might actually influence which genes are turned on or off through methylation processes. Some researchers are exploring whether B vitamin optimization might improve outcomes in mental health conditions, cancer treatment, and autoimmune diseases. We're also learning more about individual variations in B vitamin needs based on genetic polymorphisms. The idea that personalized nutrition might involve tailoring B vitamin intake to your specific genetic profile. The takeaway from all this emerging science is clear. B vitamins are not boring, basic nutrients that we figured out decades ago. They're sophisticated biomolecules involved in countless processes we're still discovering. So here we are, 15 minutes later, and I hope your perspective on B vitamins has fundamentally shifted. These aren't just items on a nutrition label, they're essential molecular tools that your body absolutely cannot function without. They're the difference between dragging through life in a fog of fatigue and experiencing the mental clarity and physical energy you're actually capable of. And here's what I need you to do now. Take action. First, honestly assess your risk factors: your age, diet, medications, stress levels, alcohol consumption. Second, consider getting tested, especially for B12 and folate, which can be checked with simple blood tests. Third, optimize your diet by incorporating more B vitamin-rich foods, more eggs, fish, whole grains, and leafy greens. Fourth, consider a high-quality B complex supplement, especially if you fall into any high-risk category. And finally, spread this knowledge. Share it with the exhausted parent, the stressed executive, the aging parent who's getting forgetful, the vegan friend, the person on antacids or metformin. This information has the power to genuinely improve people's lives. The B-complex revolution isn't about trendy wellness fads or expensive biohacking. It's about understanding and respecting the fundamental biochemistry that makes you human. Your body is sending you signals every day. Are you listening? Your energy, your mood, your cognitive function, your long-term neurological health, they're all connected to these 8 molecular warriors working tirelessly inside you. Give them what they need, and they'll give you the vitality you deserve. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge?